Elon Musk just announced SpaceX's first orbital flight is coming soon. The day is not very far now when humankind will become interplanetary. Yes, you are hearing it right. This is not any prediction or a guess, but it is a true possibility. The CEO of SpaceX, Elon Musk, has said that the first orbital flight to Mars can take place in March. We all know how enthusiastic Musk is when it comes to Mars. He's been trying to achieve his goal, although he failed many times in the past, but Rome wasn't built in a day. After all those failures, Musk is now ready to take off. Does this mean that Musk's plan to colonize Mars is near? But are they ready for it? Well, to know more about it, stay tuned in the video. Welcome to Elon Musk Exclusive. And before we start our ride, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon to never miss any videos on such exciting topics. That being said, let's begin. Space Chief Elon Musk said that the first ever orbital flight of his Starship rocket could take off as early as this March, a key step in eventually realizing his goal of building human colonies on Mars. This is the first point in the 4.5 billion year history of Earth that it has been possible. Musk said, "We need to seize the opportunity and do it as quickly as possible. I want to be frank, civilization is feeling a little fragile these days," he added. While he understands failures, he's optimistic that Starship will reach orbit by the end of this year. Musk provided his first major Starship update in more than 2 years while standing alongside the 390-foot rocket at SpaceX's Texas spaceport. He urged the nighttime crowd, "Let's make this real," Musk said. He made the comments while standing near the 390-foot high rocket at the company's spaceport in Boca Chica near the Gulf Coast. "This is really some wild stuff here," he said. "In fact, hard to believe it's real," he added. The timing of the launch will depend on final approval from the Federal Aviation Administration, which must sign off on the last stage of the rocket's development. Musk said he expects the FAA to give the go-ahead in March and that the rocket should be ready to fly by then as well. That would put the launch in the next couple of months, he added. But if the FAA demands more information about potential environmental impacts or lawsuits emerges, Musk said Starship launches could move to NASA's Kennedy Space Center in Florida, but that would delay the first orbital launch by more than half a year, he noted. This epic and most awaited space journey will be done by using the Starship rocket. SpaceX is developing Starship to get people and cargo to the Moon, Mars, and other deep space destinations. The huge vehicle includes 2 fully reusable elements, a first-stage booster called Super Heavy and a 165-foot-tall spacecraft known as Starship. Both will be powered by SpaceX's next-generation Raptor engine, 6 for Starship and about 30 for Super Heavy. Starship prototypes have flown before on roughly 6.2 mile high and then leaps into the skies above Starbase, SpaceX's facility near the South Texas village of Boca Chica, but the approaching orbital test flight will be a much more ambitious endeavor, launching a Starship atop a Super Heavy for the first time. The Starship program has undergone its fair share of knocks, including some dramatic explosions and crashes, but Musk said that the company is ready to unveil its final product. Besides Florida's Cape Canaveral and the southern tip of Texas, Starships could ultimately launch from floating ocean platforms anywhere in the world, Musk said. The US Space Agency, NASA, is also interested in Starship. The agency has blown SpaceX to provide the Human Landing System, HLS, for the impending Artemis moon landing. They have also signed up for a ride, choosing Starship as the first crewed moon lander for the agency's Artemis lunar exploration program. But for now, the initial flights would carry Musk's internet satellites, called Starlink, into orbit. There will probably be a few bumps in the road, but we want to iron those out with satellite missions and test missions before putting people on board, he said. Starship also has one private customer, a Japanese entrepreneur who has bought a flight around the moon and plans to take a dozen artists with him. Musk hinted that there are others interested in buying trips, saying future reports would be upcoming. Musk envisions Starships launching 3 times a day. Rapid reusability, with refilling stations in space for the longer destinations like Mars. The first refilling test could happen by the end of next year, he said. Musk has also said he hopes to have the rocket orbit the moon before the end of next year. Musk has also stated that he wants the rockets to land humans and cargo on Mars by 2026, which is when Mars and the Earth will be closer to each other in the solar system. Musk estimates a Starship launch could wind up costing less than $10 million. Maybe even just a few $1 million with a high flight rate, which would bring down prices. He called it crazy low and ridiculously good by current space standards. Until now, SpaceX has banked on its much smaller Falcon rockets to launch satellites, as well as astronauts and cargo to the International Space Station for NASA, and SpaceX's Super Heavy first-stage booster has yet to blast off. But the futuristic, bullet-shaped steel Starship, seated on top and serving as the upper stage, successfully launched and landed on its own last May following a series of spectacular explosions. SpaceX says Super Heavy is essential to get the spacecraft out of Earth's gravity well with adequate fuel to get where it's going. Starship can then drift to its destination, for example, Mars, and then launch itself back to space without Super Heavy thanks to the lower gravity. So, how actually does SpaceX plan to complete this mission? In a document filed with the Federal Communications Commission, first spotted by The Verge, SpaceX has outlined its plans for the orbital test flight of its Starship platform. To go orbital, Starship's Super Heavy booster, a gigantic 230-foot rocket stage, will help it take off from SpaceX's facilities in South Texas. The booster stage will separate approximately 170 seconds into flight, the document reads. The booster will then perform a partial return and land in the Gulf of Mexico, approximately 20 miles from the shore. Starship will then continue to fly between the Florida Straits, go orbital, and make a power-targeted landing, about 62 miles off the northwest coast of Kauai, in a soft ocean landing. It's still unclear what such a landing will implicate. The Starship is also built to be fully and rapidly reusable. Being fully reusable suggests that the principal hardware elements are not rejected in the sea or allowed to burn up, as happens with some other launch systems, but returns to the ground so that they can be flown again. Timely reusability means that after coming back from space, Starship can be refilled with propellant and be ready to launch again in a short period of time, like an aircraft. This lessens the cost of the whole enterprise. The Elon Musk-led company is hoping to collect as much data as possible during flight to quantify entry dynamics and better understand what the vehicle experiences in a flight regime that is extremely difficult to accurately predict or replicate computationally. If all goes according to plan, the Super Heavy will splash down in the Gulf of Mexico shortly after liftoff, while the Starship vehicle will complete one loop around Earth and splash down in the Pacific Ocean, off the Hawaiian island of Kauai. Elon Musk has made a lot of prognoses about Mars, including that we could have the outset of a human colony this decade. Musk expects a fleet of more than 100 Starships meeting in orbit of Earth to emigrate from Mars every 26 months, when the planet is closest. Each of them could carry 100 passengers. Even with the rapid pace of growth at SpaceX's Boca Chica facility, that seems unlikely to happen soon. But let's hope for the best. That's it for this video. If you enjoy it, please leave a like and comment on what kind of content you'd want to see in the future. Plus, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon to never miss an update on any video from Elon Musk exclusive, as we bring all the new things happening around the world. And we'll see you in the next one. Until then, peace.